Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the first in a series that will be looking particularly at how to create music videos. In lockdown, many of us musicians found ourselves stuck in our homes, unable to play in groups. So I, like many others, were driven to technology. These videos have an aim of bringing the musical community closer together again, and I'm looking particularly at software that you can find on Apple products. What you will find with Apple is that they actually have really good software, such as Garageband and iMovie, which are the two pieces of software I'm specifically going to look at in future content. This video will be looking specifically at GarageBand and just giving a basic introduction to the general features that GarageBand provides. So let's get started. First of all, what you need to do is open up GarageBand. You may find that you have it down in your dock like I do here, which you could double click. If it's not there, you can often find it in Launchpad, so you just need to tap that. When you select it, it obviously opens to your latest project, which for me was Queen of Sheba. It was the last one I was working on. If you haven't already seen my version of Queen of Sheba, definitely head over to the Mode 4 channel and you will see the video and hear the recording in all its glory. If you want to start a new project, just go to File at the top and New, which will look something like that, Empty Project. Then you select your empty project and it gives you one. It's now giving you the option of which sort of track you would like to use. The one that I'm going to be looking at is record using a microphone. You need to make sure it's selected like this and you'll see that it's brighter and it's got a box around it. Then you need to look at your inputs. My instrument is connected to Scarlett USB, which is my mixing desk / sound card. It's also saying that I want to hear sound from there. Now, personally, I actually don't have headphones that fit into mine, so this can be something that's changed. So if you tap on there, your output can be changed to your built-in output. So I have my headphones attached to my computer rather than my mixing desk, so I need to make sure built-in output is selected. So once that's sorted, that's fine. I like to tick I want to hear my instrument as I play and record, so I can actually hear myself back while I'm playing. I find that a lot easier myself. Now here, instruments connected to Scarlett USB, that's what I would use. You can also use a built-in microphone. It's not horrific, Macs are actually pretty good, but if you want that slightly higher class sound, I would suggest using your own external condenser mic. So if you want just a simple recording into your laptop, I would suggest you go with your built-in microphone. Once you've got all of that selected, you need to make sure that you've got the correct input if you are using your external microphone. So mine is in input 2, so 1 and 2 is fine. Then all you have to do is select Create, and boom, there it is. Now what happens is you then hear it back. So I can now hear my sound coming back through my headphones. You also now have a track. I'll just go through what all of these things are. So this is your monitor. This is you being able to hear it back. If I don't want to hear it back, I can literally just tap it, and as long as it looks blank like that, you don't hear it. If you do want to hear it, tap it and it should be orange. Now, if you want to hear it through your headphones, you need to tap the headphones button there, otherwise you won't hear it at all. And then this silences the track in general. So as you progress and you want to cut certain tracks out but you want to keep them, this is a really important tool that you just mute and unmute as you play. Now I'm going to unmute that because obviously I'd like to be able to record. You've got this dial here, this is the level that's coming through your microphone. So as I speak louder, it gets higher, and then as I'm quieter, it sinks down. So those are the important features of the track that you may need to know. The next thing that you need to know is the tools up here. Now actually, there's not very much you need to know up here. Now for most musicians, your tempo is important. So if you want your track to be at 120, that's fine, it will automatically have it at 120. But you can change it, so if you want it to be slightly slower, you can change it to 90, you just type it in and it will recognise, if you tap off, it will recognise that tempo and you will get a click track, which is here, that goes at that tempo. Personally, I like to use a click track so I know that I'm definitely getting all my tracks well lined up with each other. Not everybody does, but I do. So as long as that's highlighted, you know it's going to be playing. If you don't want a click track, just unselect it, and as long as it's grey, that means it's not going to play. Now, you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 here, that is your counting. So what this does is it doesn't record you straight away, it gives you a click of 1, 2, 3, 4 before you start playing, and then it starts recording. I find this a really useful feature to have on if I'm starting part the way through a track. So it gives me some time to start playing and I know exactly where I am later. Something else that you might need, if your piece is not in 4/4, you just need to select that and you can change it. So look, you get it an option of 12/8, 6/8, 7/8 if you want to be really challenging for yourself, and 3/4, and you just change that. It does also give you the option of customizing it if you're going to be really complicated. That again links to your click track, so when your click goes, it emphasizes the beginning of each bar, so it is useful to make sure you've got the correct time signature. Now along here we've got some really useful features as well. So the really important one is this button here, which records. So when you tap record, I'm getting my click and then it records what you are doing right in. As you can see, it's creating an image that shows the levels that I'm producing with my voice. To stop it from recording, you just need to press the record button and it stops. It will keep playing, so you just have to press the stop button. If you want to listen back to it, you can drag or you can tap this scroll that goes along back to the beginning, and you can press play and it will play it back to you. Now, the really fun stuff, I love this stuff, is down here. So this is what gives you certain effects on your track. So what you need to do is just make sure your track is selected, and then if you go down here, because this is an audio input from the mic, you're wanting to go for voice at the moment. You have also got options of acoustic guitar and electric guitar and bass. They do still work on this and they give a really crazy effect. What I would suggest you do is just play around, see what works for you and what you want. I usually go for classic vocals. Another thing to notice, when you start attaching these sound effects to your audio track, you get this control down here, which is a sort of mixing desk of sorts, and you can change what particular levels you want to work. So if you've got echo, you want some echo, make sure it's on. You can turn it off, which means you won't get any echo. You literally just have to tap it. You can also, if you move this dial, you can change the amount of echo you've got. Tapping's easier, or you can have more or less, depends what you like. Again, what I would suggest, play around with it, see what works for you and the effect you want to have on your track. So they are the really important things to know about your track's setup, just the basics. The next most important thing is, if you are multi-tracking like I do, is how do you get another track? All you have to do is go to this plus button at the top of the bar. It takes you back to that option at the beginning, where you can choose whether you want to input a software instrument, a drummer, a guitar, or just another audio. Again, make sure all of this is exactly what you want before you then tap create, and it brings you another bar. And all you have to do here is set it up like you did with the other, and it should play. Now remember, when you're recording, if your first track is unmuted, you will hear it back as you record. So I'm going to record, getting my count in again, and I'm recording over the top, but I can also hear my previous recorded track. So if you don't want to hear your previously recorded track, you just tap the mute button and it will darken, so it tells you if it's playing or not. I've been caught out a few times, it's fine, you just have to learn. And then you can record to your heart's content on here, and you won't hear the other track going as you record on this track. If you're layering, you just have to do this as many times as you like by pressing this add button for a new track, where you have to experiment. You can't know everything. Those are your basics. What you then need to do when you are finished and you want to export it, what you need to do is go up into the share option at the top, and it gives you option how you save it. Song to music, which should end up in your iTunes library if you have it. Make sure you've got a title. You can then put in the title of your song, the artist. This is how it will save it to your iTunes, which is where you'll then be able to find it. You then select share, it runs it down, so it will only record this section, it won't record that because that's unselected, so you just have to unmute that if you wanted to. Another thing to remember as well when you're exporting is that it does change the sound levels. The other thing to remember is when you are exporting it, if you've got your click track going, it will also record your click track. So that's really useful if you were sending a demo track out to your band to record to. So actually by keeping your click on, it makes it really helpful for the rest of your band. If you don't want to have a click track, you have to make sure it's unselected before you export it, like I just did. Once you have got your track exported to the way that you really like it, you have it in Garageband. All you actually need to do is drag it to your desktop and it creates a file on your desktop. And then you would export that into your iMovie if you are creating a film. I hope that tutorial helped. Like I say, I am new to this, like many other people, and I am just telling you the ways that I have discovered using Google and YouTube. Please, if you know easier ways or some amazing cheats to get some great recordings or movies, please feel free to comment in the box below and let me know so I can try it out myself and hopefully make future content for everybody. Best of luck, see you in the next video.